What if I told you that in 2025, a few key cryptos didn't just do well, they absolutely exploded? We're going to break down exactly how three specific coins dominated the market, starting with two absolute giants in this first part of our explainer.
So welcome to our deep dive on the top crypto winners of 2025. We're talking about Sol, XRP, and Hyperliquid. Now, in this first part, we're going to zero in on the two titans that really led the pack, so you can see for yourself what was really behind those incredible gains.
All right, let's get right into it. For part one, we're focusing on two of the biggest names in the game. Solana, which got a massive tech upgrade, and XRP, which, well, it basically rewrote the rules for sending money around the world.
And just so you know, these aren't some random flash-in-the-pan coins we're talking about. Nope, we're focusing on established, large-cap projects that people are actually using in the real world, the kind of foundational players that delivered absolutely jaw-dropping performance.
Okay, first up, Solana. In 2025, the network rolled out this monster of an update. It completely changed what Solana was capable of as a foundational Layer 1 blockchain.
The secret sauce here was the Fire Dancer upgrade. This thing wasn't just a tweak, it was a complete overhaul that jacked Solana's capacity to over 1 million transactions per second. I mean, to put that in perspective, this single move pretty much erased all those annoying congestion problems the network used to have. It was a total game changer for scaling. So what happens when you get that kind of speed? Well, a whole lot. It meant dApps and games could scale without a hitch. Solana basically became the place to be for the huge meme coin supercycle. Even PayPal's own stablecoin started moving its volume over to Solana just to get those faster, cheaper transfers. So the tech is cool, but what did that mean for your wallet? It meant a massive 130% gain over the year. Yeah. Solana kicked off 2025 sitting around $100, and then just took off during the Fire Dancer rollout, eventually topping out somewhere between $230 and $250. And get this, it wasn't just retail investors like you and me fueling this thing. The big money noticed. Solana's incredible on-chain performance and its super strong community started attracting huge institutional capital through brand new ETFs. That's what really added the rocket fuel to push it all the way to $250. So to wrap up Solana, it became the undisputed hub for everything from meme coins and DeFi to NFTs. It fixed its old congestion issues for good, and it was even looking ahead, preparing for future security threats with stuff like post-quantum cryptography. It just became a dominant, super reliable platform.
Hey, if you're as fired up about Solana's incredible run as I am, do me a favor and smash that like button and subscribe. We've got another heavy hitter from 2025 coming up right now.
All right, let's shift gears to our next crypto king, XRP. This one wasn't about NFTs or meme coins. It was targeting something way bigger, global finance. And in 2025, it went from just being a competitor to a straight-up disruptor of the old way of doing things.
Now, the big idea here is actually super simple, but it's so powerful. Ripple's tech, which is powered by XRP, lets you send money across the globe faster than you can send a text message. I mean, think about that. That kind of speed makes old-school systems like Swift look like they belong in a museum.
Let's just put them side by side for a second. With Swift, you're looking at slow, expensive transfers that can take days to actually settle. On the other hand, you've got Ripple and XRP offering instant settlement at up to 70% cheaper. It's really a no-brainer why so many financial institutions started jumping on board. And you know what happens when a crypto starts solving a massive real-world problem, right? The price reflects it. XRP holders saw absolutely insane gains of around 230%. The price shot up from about 60 cents to a peak of over $2, all because it was actually being used. But what was the one thing, the single catalyst that really lit the fuse on this whole rally? It all came down to a huge legal decision. In 2024, after years of fighting, a court finally ruled that XRP was not a security. That decision was everything. It gave the market the regulatory clarity it had been desperate for. After that ruling, man, the floodgates just opened. Exchanges in the US rushed to relist XRP. Then you had token burns that started reducing the supply, making it more scarce. And to top it off, they added smart contracts, which unleashed a wave of DeFi and NFT projects right on the XRP ledger. The utility just went through the roof. So the connection here is crystal clear. That huge legal victory gave the market the green light it needed. And for investors, that translated directly into a 4x return from the start of the year as all those regulatory clouds finally disappeared.
I've got to ask the XRP army out there, after all these huge developments, what are you thinking? How much XRP are you stacking for the long haul? Let me know down in the comments. And the good news just kept on coming. The whole regulatory scene started getting more pro-crypto, which boosted liquidity. But the final knockout punch was the approval of spot ETFs from giants like BlackRock and Fidelity. That brought in billions of institutional dollars and helped blast XRP right through that key $2 level. And that's a wrap on our first two crypto kings, Solana and XRP. Make sure you join us for part 2, where we're going to cover the final and maybe most surprising crypto king of 2025. Thanks for watching. Welcome back to the show. We are diving headfirst into part 2 of our 2025 Crypto King series. And today we're crowning the ultimate winner, Hyperliquid. We're going to break down the tech, the insane tokenomics, and exactly what fueled its absolutely explosive rise. If you want the real story behind the market's biggest players, you're in the right place. Let's get into it.
All right, so first things first, what even is Hyperliquid? Well, at its core, it's a decentralized exchange that is laser-focused on one thing: perpetual contracts. Think of those as a way for traders to bet on a crypto's future price, but without any expiration date. The whole platform was literally built from scratch for one purpose: to deliver wicked fast, super efficient trading without any of the old-school middlemen getting in the way. Now this is where it gets really juicy. What's under the hood? Well, Hyperliquid isn't just another app, it's running on its very own Layer 1 blockchain, which is a huge advantage. It means they could optimize everything for high-frequency trading. We're talking features like basically zero slippage on your trades, super low fees, and this is a big one, it's resistant to MEV. That means it protects you from bots trying to front-run your trades for a profit. For any serious trader, this setup is an absolute dream.
And here's the proof in the pudding. That incredible tech foundation led to this. Hyperliquid just walked in and completely dominated, capturing a massive chunk of the market share for decentralized perps. It's so clear that what they built resonated with traders, pulling in a ton of volume and even flipping more established platforms when you look at those key on-chain revenue numbers.
So what does all that market dominance look like in your wallet? How about a mind-blowing 1,400% gain? The token went from a low of about $3.80 all the way to a peak near $59. Now, of course, you got to remember, moves like that are pure fireworks. They always come with extreme volatility. So yeah, the performance was legendary, but it's also a high-risk, high-reward kind of play.
Okay, so the tech was only one part of this wild story. Now we have to talk about the tokenomics, because the strategy they used for their token airdrop was, frankly, genius, and it poured rocket fuel on this fire.
You see, the airdrop was engineered to create what we call a supply shock. They rewarded a whole bunch of early users and holders with tokens, but, and here's the key, many of those tokens were locked up. This meant that just as the hype was exploding, the actual amount of the token you could buy on the market was squeezed down to almost nothing.
And just so we're all on the same page here, a supply shock is pretty simple. It's when an event suddenly yanks the available supply of an asset off the market. And when that happens right as demand is going through the roof, well, basic economics tells you the price has only one way to go, and that's up, drastically. You know, all this talk about high-risk, high-reward strategies gets me curious. We all have that one trade we'll never forget, right? So I want to know, what's the wildest, most nail-biting trade you've ever made? Let me know the story down in the comments. All right, so now that we've put Hyperliquid under the microscope, let's zoom out a bit. Let's see how it fits into the bigger picture of 2025. Because when you look at the top dogs for the year, you see this trio of assets that each played a totally unique but super important role in the market. And here it is, what a lot of people started calling the crypto trifecta of 2025. First up, you had Solana, cementing its place as the go-to blockchain for speed and scalability. Then you had XRP, which is all about making cross-border payments faster and cheaper for big financial institutions. And, as we just saw, Hyperliquid showed up and just became the undisputed king of decentralized derivatives.
This chart just says it all, doesn't it? I mean, look, Solana and XRP put up amazing numbers for large-cap assets, truly impressive stuff. But Hyperliquid was just playing a different sport entirely.
It perfectly highlights the difference in risk and reward, right? These smaller, specialized projects can offer absolutely explosive returns that the big guys just can't match.
So, looking ahead to 2026, what's the next big narrative? Well, two of the hottest topics are the tokenization of real-world assets, or RWAs, and the rise of on-chain AI agents. These are brand new frontiers, where you can bet platforms like the ones we've talked about are going to try to make their mark. But, this is crypto. The only thing you can really predict is unpredictability.
Now, for every epic success story like Hyperliquid, there are a bunch of projects that completely crash and burn. So, in our next explainer, we're flipping the script. We're going to do a deep dive on the other side of the coin, the biggest losers of 2025.
We are going to go hunting for the critical red flags that can signal a project is headed for trouble. Trust me, understanding why some projects fail is just as valuable, maybe even more valuable, than just knowing why others succeed. It's how you protect yourself.
We're going to break down all the warning signs, from bad tokenomics to shady teams, and talk about how to protect your portfolio in this crazy market. If you want to learn how to spot the duds before they take you down, you're not going to want to miss this. Make sure you're subscribed and you hit that little notification bell.
And hey, one last really important thing. Just a reminder that none of this is financial advice. This is all for educational and entertainment purposes. You absolutely have to do your own research before making any investment decisions. Always. All right? Stay safe out there, and let's go to the moon together.